Welcome back to the Witch's Way podcast. I'm Kat.
And I'm Jamie. And today we are celebrating Lughnasadh. Now, when this podcast comes out, Lughnasadh is still like a week away, but it's August 1st, 2nd. It could be July 31st. It's the season of Lughnasadh. Remember, we don't hold true to dates unless it's something that's happening in the sky, because then it's actually happening. But these are seasonal shifts. And Lughnasadh is one of the lesser known holidays, usually in the witchcraft world, because it's not one of like the big flashy ones and like, ooh, big things happening. It's an in-between holiday. So some people call this cross-quarter holidays. You can call it a fire holiday. It's the holiday that gets us from one to the other, honestly, because like I said, I think pagans just love to celebrate and have a reason to party.
We
so
do.
Every 6 weeks,
We definitely do.
we're throwing a party. And this is the in-between party where we're like, nothing quite yet to celebrate, but fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the way
we're celebrating.
We're celebrating. We got our crowns on. Kat and I realized that we definitely have to do more flower crowns because I keep getting stuck with ones that are not up to par, and
they're either pokey or they're
incomplete,
too big, or they're not done.
They got things. It's not the right fucking color.
It's not the right color.
Like right now, I look like I'm in spring and Kat's in fall. And although Lughnasadh would not really be considered a fall holiday, it is a middle of summer holiday. It's the first harvest. And so we talk about, there's 3 harvest holidays and Lughnasadh being the first. But again, a lot of people don't even talk about it, you know. So, but this is more like berries and fruits and the wheats and making the breads and doing, you know, whatever in your area grows. For us, watermelon season is right now. And I'll tell you what, the watermelons are so damn juicy. They're so good.
They've been good for 6 weeks. I can't believe they're still good. I haven't bought one because I'm kind of burned out.
Since midsummer?
I was eating them like every week, every day. I was eating watermelon, and I'm just like, I'm over it now.
I'm never over watermelon. I get the watermelon frozen fruit popsicle things. Yeah. It's hard for me to stop at one. I'm like, I could get another one. They're only 50 calories. Why not?
When you do this video, can you like drop watermelons down out of the sky? Kind of like
I could try
dancing across the sky.
A little watermelon.
When we talk about watermelon, I mean, why not? We're here for the entertainment as well as the education. And sharing our stories.
Well, okay. So when I was talking to Kat about Lughnasadh when we started this is because this has been a difficult year for us, as you guys know. Usually this is where you would reap your first harvest of anything that you've been working on. Say, Kat decided that this was the year she was learning astrology, and she's been working really hard on that. I'm more learning social media stuff and figuring out how to put myself out there, and I'm doing better. But there's also part of this holiday that you can think of as, you know, you make plans and you decide what you're going to try to do, grow, create this year, and then we don't get to, for whatever reason. You know, usually the thing we say is like, oh, life happened, right? It's like, oh, life got in the way. So this could also be the harvesting and the cutting off of the things that didn't go well and like not having guilt around them.
Is it possible that this sort of shift that's happening right now might also be something that motivates us to like get busy on goals that we're sort of like half-assing?
Sure. Yeah.
Because the truth of the matter is, Jamie said, I've been studying astrology really hard. I've been lazy about it. Honestly, I haven't wanted to do other things, but I've just recently got really inspired. I was like, I'm going to learn this. I've got like ideas for when I like do the class, and I'm writing stuff down. I'm reading the book that's like this thick, you know, it's like 2 inches thick. I'm like, oh my God. Before I go to bed. So I'm sort of like getting into the buckle down, because I'm only like 31%. I started this in March, and I'm 31% done with the course. There's so much. But I also feel this like drive now to like start pushing myself to spend the time, listen, you know, like get through it, or not get through it, but absorb it, because it's a lot to absorb. And I'm at the part where it's a lot to absorb.
It's heavy knowledge.
And it's shit that I don't know at all.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
So what it sounds like you're saying is almost like a recommitting.
Yeah.
Like a middle of the year kind of recommit.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to do that.
I mean, if I was totally failing and going to give up, I would be like, this would be the time to cut it loose and decide I wasn't going to meet this goal this year. But I believe I can do it, because I feel like I almost feel like intuitively, I know there's this slowing down shift coming, and I'm going to have more time where I'm not going to always want to be out in the yard or out somewhere, because it's, you know, it's just, I love this time of year.
Yeah.
You know, I love the summer and the spring and the summer, and you know, all the
Right.
fun stuff that goes along with that. So
Yeah, so you still have like 6 more months roughly, so 4,
yeah.
5.
So anyway, I wanted to tell you guys, I kind of wanted to fess up to that because I want you guys to know that I'll just speak for myself, am very imperfect.
Yeah,
And
not me. I'm super perfect. I never do anything wrong.
And my life is messy, and I set goals that I don't accomplish, and then I come back to them, and I spend a lot of time in my head sometimes. So anyway,
well,
I'm right there with you. If that's you, I'm with you. I'm your soul sister.
I'm telling you what, it makes me, when we have harvest holidays like these 3, and even with midsummer, you know, Florida has really harsh sun. It's very hard to grow things, but having these holidays, it does make me look at my garden and what we've grown and what we've tended to, what we've lost, what didn't go so well, like what we can improve on.
Yeah.
And I sort of apply the same thing to shit that I want to get accomplished or work on. And I have days or weekends where I'm like super motivated and I just go through and I've got projects knocked out. And I always try to have grace with myself about the energy that I feel no matter what the season is, the shift is, whatever's going on. It's like, but do I have the energy for that? And if it aligns, it's like, fuck yeah, now I'm pumped up, right? Because I'm like, I've got this energy to do it. And it's this time of year. It just feels like, you know, I have the whole banana split with all the icing and the things and the cherries on top and the
everything's
extras
clicking and working together.
And that feels great. And then it doesn't happen with everything. So this weekend we've planted a lot of basil because basil bolts really fast in Florida because of the heat, but it grows really easily. It bolts, which means it goes to flower.
Oh yeah, mine did that. Yeah.
It goes to seed really fast. So we've grown at least 3 crops of basil this year. And we love it. We use it all the time. You know, we make the little with the cheese
ice cubes.
The cheese and the tomato and and the balsamic. So this last grouping of basil was going really, really well. And then I looked out there this past weekend and that shit was dying. It had like 2 leaves on each plant. I was like, oh my God, I forgot to water it. And it sat out there in the heat. And, you know, my husband's like, do you want to do something with this basil? And of course I was like, I could just let it go. I could just like return the dirt and like just compost everything. It could be fine. But I was like, no, I have a place for them. I'll grow them more in shade. I already stressed them the hell out. Like, but they are strong because they survived all my neglect. They want to live. Let them live. And some of our dreams and goals and desires are like that, where if somebody asks you to give them up, it's like, hey, listen, that's not working for you. Just give it up. It makes it almost more of a desire to complete it. We're like, no, I'm going to stand firm in this. Now I really want it because it's being questioned. I'm one of those people. I do that.
Yeah.
Like I could not care about it until somebody's like, why don't you just let that go? And then I'm like, no, I fiercely hold on to this. And now I need to complete this project and do all the right things. So we're going from that peak light to the dimming of light. That was the next part that I wrote.
Right.
Yeah. And that symbolism for this holiday, if you guys don't know, because like I said, it's a very subtle shift, but it's abundance with gratitude, preparation for the sacrifice. And that's why I think about with sacrifice, it's like you have to cut down the living things to harvest them, right? Because they're alive when we cut them down to make food. The plant dies, you know that it's going back to the ground. Some of the fruit's going to have seeds that you'll save. That's also a sacrifice. Nobody's eating it. You're just actually drying the fruit out so that you can save the seeds. I mean, try to compare that to real life. You know, what are the small seeds that we're saving, you know, or what are the things that we're cutting back so that we have room in other ways to grow? Like if you think about your life as a field of crops, a big garden, you know, what is it that we're getting out of our garden? Is our garden nourishing us? Is all the shit we're actually dealing with and taking care of worth it? Like, is it really worth that time? Or is there things that you can be like, yeah, you need to go. You're a time waster. Thinking about people, jobs, some activities, doom scrolling, whatever.
I've started going to the beach more because I realized my time to go to the beach and get into the water is going to be cut short pretty soon. Because even though we have the beach all year round, the water's not warm enough for those of us who live here and are used to warm water to get in after November. By October, November, it's getting, you know, it's getting cold. It's getting uncomfortably chilly. It gets chilly for us. And so, you know, so we have like that summer thing too. So I've been taking the dog to the beach. I've gone to the beach, gone looking for shark's teeth, stuff like that, just because I want to enjoy it while, you know, the time is right. The timing is right. And I don't want that the whole summer to slip by me. And it's like, well, I live 3 miles from the beach. Why am I?
didn't I go?
And I love
it's your
love
favorite
going.
thing. Yeah.
I love going. So what is the deal? Why am I not doing it? So, I don't know if that was in line with what you were talking about, Jamie, about letting stuff go. I think that's
well, and then you stand by it more when you realize when it's kind of called out to you, when the attention is given to it, it's like, oh shit, we're now at the middle. If we haven't done it, maybe we can say like, oh, let's let that go. But now you're at the middle and you're like, no, I need to commit more time to this. Now I'm reprioritizing.
Yeah, exactly. Because I looked at the calendar and I'm like, what the hell? It's going to be August 1?
Soon. I know.
How is that possible?
I know.
What have I done?
Yeah.
All year? What have I, oh man. Okay.
Don't be too hard on yourselves though.
Hey, one good thing though.
What?
I saw a video of, I think took a reel of my backyard in May.
Oh.
My pergola thing that I'm growing vines all over. It was completely bare. There was nothing growing there.
They were struggling, I remember.
No, there was nothing there. I had tried to plant things there and they died.
Oh, remember I told you because
remember because that's where everything died, and I was like, I couldn't figure it out. So anyway, I just kept trying, and I finally found something that could withstand whatever was in. I believe it was chlorine and stuff. That's where the pool filter and all that stuff was. So they would come there and put in their chemicals.
So the soil was bad.
So I think the soil was contaminated a little bit, but I finally found something that could withstand it. And now the whole thing is like, it's got vines all over it. And it's like really, and I saw that.
You're going to need to post that to social media or something so that people can see it. So they know what you're talking
before
about.
And after.
Yeah.
It's really startling,
Well, and it would make her so depressed. She would, invest in these plants. And we buy a lot of native plants, which are number one, you got to drive an hour away to go get them. And they're not cheap like plants at like Home Depot and Lowe's and little nurseries. Like they're for a little plant's like $22. So she had bought it. How many times did you bought that coral honeysuckle? At least twice.
At least twice.
So it was like spending the money and the time and trying to do the things and not having the outcome was like really frustrating. I remember you being kind of sad about it. And being like, fuck it.
And yours is like huge. Like it's like 12 feet tall.
Yeah. It's growing over other stuff. I have to cut it back. Which I'm learning how to propagate it now, so you don't ever have to buy it again.
I like compare myself as a gardener to my daughter's house,
which shouldn't.
Which I shouldn't because I'm like a baby, and she's been doing
Mine's 4 years old.
Yeah,
like I've had real commitment with my yard for 4 years.
Yeah,
so you can't have that from May to now.
It's not hard. It's
Why is it not happening fast enough?
Okay.
I think that, that's a good example of even when you're building your witchcraft practice, when you're learning things, you kind of want to be where you see other people, that's the hard thing about social media for me is like, you see all these people with all the fancy things or whatever. And it's like, how's a new person supposed to feel when they see everybody, way up here on level 5 and they're like level 1, they're like, meh, my practice looks sad compared to everybody else. Mine's the little bush that won't, the little twig plant that won't go anywhere. And
He's got one leaf that keeps falling off and
doesn't know what's happening.
Oh, that is true about that because I can see how that pressure would be there too. I know I've seen people with like
comparison.
I see them too, and I'm like, oh, look at that space. I want it. I want to like have that. I want that whole thing because I love the vibe so much.
Yeah, I think we use them as inspiration and say, if I was going to get 5 things out of that picture to put in my house this year, starting small like that. I've always tried to tell people to start small like that.
I know. Well, one of the things this one girl had was she had a disco ball and it worked in her witchy space. It worked in her witchy space. Like you would never think to put that there, but the way everything was hanging from the ceiling and stuff, the plants and all this other kind of stuff. And just the whole room was so cool. And she had a fucking disco ball.
Listen, my friend Liz is like that. She loves disco balls. So I actually, if I'm out anywhere and there was a disco ball display in London when I went and I sent her videos of it. I was like, dude, you would die because she likes the disco ball things. And she has like a disco ball planter and she's witching. It's like, in my witch aesthetic, a disco ball would not reign. But then I've seen it with other people's witch aesthetic, and I'm like, that's so fucking cute. I love that.
Right.
No. It's finding your own little niche. We all create our practices, and it starts broad, and then we like get down to our little specifics. Because even for you, you've got those cute little fairy dolls. That are, that you made.
That I made.
They're so fucking cute. They're so cute. I don't know why
I like them too. I have them up there on the broom that I made, which I just love.
Yes.
Little fairy dolls. Okay. I hope this is making sense. I feel like we're kind of a little bit scattered.
It's like, it's a celebration
maybe
talk.
it's energy. Yeah.
It's,
It's just energy right now.
We think about, when we go back to talking about the nature side of it, I think that's because when I think of witchcraft, when we think of witchcraft, we do connect a lot of it with the earth and what the earth is doing. And, this is just our experience as witches, because this is how we engage in our practice, is taking care of the earth and creating spaces for animals and butterflies and bees and all the little critters that we get so happy to see.
The plants are creatures to me.
Yeah.
They're like,
they all have their own personalities.
Yeah, they're all like, and I'm really getting into, like, I'm really drawn to that now, like way more than I was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
that would be
I'm more willing to, I'm much more willing to experiment with things. Like, I finally got past the point. I had enough stuff die in my yard where I just like, fuck it. I'm just going to try it. If it dies, then I'll just plant something else there. That's what I say to myself. Now I'm like, okay, whatever. Instead of like going like, please don't die on me. Or like, where do I plant it? I'm not sure where to plant it. And then being indecisive about it. Now I'm just like, I'm going to fucking try it. That's all I'm going to do. And if it doesn't work out, more experimental. And if it doesn't work out, I'll go back. I'll try something different the next time.
See, and that relates to spell work, right?
It relates to spell work. It relates to witchcraft.
Maybe it doesn't all go the way that you wanted it to, and you didn't get the outcome. You zone in, and you're like, okay, what could I do different? Here's how I could change that. I'm gonna, you do a little research, and then you go for it again, and you try again, and you try. The experimental mindset is, I really feel, pivotal to successful witchcraft, because if you hold yourself to such a standard that you're not allowed to make errors or experiment, then you're really hard on yourself, and you're like, I guess I'm not a good witch. I don't know how to do anything. I can't make a flame dance with my eyeballs. Like, I don't know. We hold ourselves to expectations that we think are supposed to be something, and then when it doesn't work out, we're like,
I can't visit the astral plane.
Not daily. So I like thinking about these holidays and trying to observe the very small changes in nature that are happening around me. So Lughnasadh, depending on where you're at in the country and the world, it's different for everybody, because the earth is changing in subtle ways differently everywhere. We are closer to the equator, so our changes are even slower, whereas people up north, I think about Tracy, like, her change happens much faster.
Oh,
They're getting cold in like September, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even know, because I haven't been up there. Like, for when things start getting cold, I don't even consider going places. Not really. No, I don't have the blood for it. I don't know. I was born in the desert, and I'll die in the desert. So traditions, a lot of times books and posts and people will go through, here's Lughnasadh traditions, or here's what the ancients did, or here's things you're supposed to be doing around this holiday time. I'm going to challenge all of our listeners to start a tradition for you. Take stock of what's happening in your life during the month of August, the end of July, the beginning of August. What starts happening? I can think of things like, I graduated boot camp in August. So that was a huge transition in my life. I did a lot of moves in August. Mm-hmm. Kids start school in August. So there's always this
I've had a lot of big events happen for me in July, I realized. Like, I left Kansas City in July. I moved across the country in July. And some other things. So I was thinking about that the other day, about July. It's kind of a big month.
Lots of things going on.
Yeah.
And Tony's family, they have like 6 birthdays in July. So that would have been a time for him as well that's just busy, party after party after party, movement, people, celebrations, And I think that that's where, when you take stock of how things have happened for you year after year, and the theme that repeats itself, that's what you build your traditions around, or you break some of them where you're like, I'm not going to sit around and dwell on something every August or whatever. Because for September is hard for me. Right before we hit the fall equinox, my dad passed on September 11th, 10 years after the first 9/11, the big 9/11 for the whole country, the whole world. So September was already a rough month for me, but then like my dad dying in it, I have to really not dwell in order to appreciate the fall equinox, because otherwise it will just become a sad time for me. So I have to actively try to think about other things so that I can have a ritual around it that feels more spiritual and personal. But sometimes, some years, like the big years, the 5-year, the 10-year, the 15-year marks, that's going to be included in my fall equinox thing where it's either gratitude, appreciation, reflection, whatever it is. But your life has a cycle in it. We all have our cycles that we go through, things that have happened to us, and our bodies remember our traumatic events even. So if you know that big relationships ended or even started, it's cyclical for us. Yeah. And your body sort of remembers, like, it's building up for that place and time again.
Yeah.
The other thing that happened to me, transitions in the military around August, because like that was the time, that in March. So I don't know, reflect over the things that have happened in your life during those months, and then create Lughnasadh or August 1st type traditions related to that fit your lifestyle more. I love going off the book, which Kat actually brought out this time around because we didn't have the book out for the last holiday. Yeah, but I love reading it. I love knowing about the old ways.
Llewellyn's
sabbats.
Sabbats. Yeah, Llewellyn sabbats. So.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 8 of them. There's 8 of them, and you can buy them as a group, as a set, or you can buy them individually.
Yeah. But I think that when you're able to read through stuff like that, don't feel like you have to connect to everything in that book. It's ideas, it's options. It's like, and I've done this before because I've had those books for many years now. One year, some things hit, and the next year, other things hit. So I have that. It's like nothing has to be set in stone with your practice. You can change it every year, no matter what's happening. So that's what I was going to say about traditions, is like, create your own tradition. Figure out what you like. Maybe every holiday you try a different dish from the book, because they have all kinds of recipes. We've done that. Mm-hmm. It's very fun because we laugh at how terrible they are, or, we decide we won't make them again. That's it. I mean, and then it's a story. Yeah. My terrible bread. I know.
I don't think, was it meant to be eaten?
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry. I thought it was just, one of them was just for looks.
No. They don't have just for looks bread in the recipe section.
Listen, it had 3 ingredients and it tasted like 3. It wasn't, yeah.
It tasted like just water and flour. It was really hard, and that's okay.
Baking soda or baking powder, whatever. Something else goes in.
I think it was baking soda. Baking powder. I don't know. I'm not a baker in that way. I don't know. So I did write down a few little cutesy things for working, like what to do during Lughnasadh if you guys don't want to go out and, do anything. And I know I'm going to come up with stuff to post on the Instagram, social media, because I like to create pretty shit, and that's why I'm going to do that. I was like, that's why, because I really enjoy the creation of the pretty little things.
Pretty little things.
The pretty little things. I need artwork in my life always. That's something that is really true to my spirit, my soul, my character. So in whatever way I'm creating stuff, it's got to be pretty, and I'll do it just for that.
Look at your 5th house in your chart. Well, what would that be? You're the same.
It'd be
as
the
me.
same. Yeah. What's your 5th house?
Sagittarius.
Oh.
Sagittarius, but what planets? What planets are in our 5th house?
I don't think I have any planets in my 5th house.
Yeah, you may not. I don't know.
I don't.
But 5th house is where creativity is. So I just wondered, maybe there may be things transiting through your 5th house, or always, or something. I don't know. Anyway, it just made me think of it because
she's studying astrology.
Because 5th house is where where creativity.
Do you know what yours is? If there's anything in your 5th house?
I think I have Saturn in my 5th house with Sagittarius. I think there's 2 planets there, but
so then that would be like rules and structure around creativity.
Yeah, it'd be things trying to slow you down, Trying to slow you down.
When I try to do artwork with Kat, this is what she starts saying about 5 minutes in. I suck at this. This is no good. Mine's not as pretty as yours. Oh, how'd you do that? I want to do it like that. You're so good at this. And then I'm like, would you stop it and just appreciate your own art? And she has. When she does it on her own, and I don't think she's judging herself off of what somebody else is doing in their creativity.
I'm pretty
good at it.
Yeah.
We could show some pictures. I mean, you've created a lot of stuff. And she used to sew our clothes growing up. Like, you made a lot of our clothes. You made every single Halloween outfit.
I did.
So give yourself some, but I could see that, like, sewing is sort of a structured, planned thing. I could totally see that as like a Saturn creativity thing.
I can do like designs where if it's free flowing stuff, that's harder for me, because you're right. I do need like the lines and
you want instructions when you do it. You're more of like a paint by numbers person, maybe?
I am more paint by numbers, or embroider, or sewing. Let's see,
something with structure.
Yeah, something with structure in it.
Whereas like I've done lots of drawing, painting, watercolors.
I know.
One of the hardest mediums.
You've been doing that since you were little.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the magical workings. I'm gonna let you talk through this because I need a drink.
Where are we?
Oh, down towards the bottom. Number 6.
Number 6 of what?
What do you mean?
Number 6.
They're numbered. And
we already went through all this?
I mean,
okay.
We're
magical
skimming.
workings for Lughnasadh. Oh my God, bread.
It is literally the bread holiday.
Bread and baked bread with herbs. So I made some really good rosemary bread.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Where'd you get your recipe from?
I think I looked at it online.
Yeah.
I think I looked it up online because I wanted for something for like one of the holidays, either Christmas or Thanksgiving, or it was around that time of the year. And I just decided I was going to make it.
Mm-hmm. And it was really good.
And it came out wonderful. So I feel like rosemary bread is like a sure thing. Like just find yourself a recipe on like allrecipes.com or something like that and make it. And you will really, really enjoy it. If you like rosemary, which I can't imagine anybody doesn't like rosemary. But anyway, so baked breads with baked bread spells with herbs like rosemary. I got all excited about baking rosemary bread, but it's baked bread spells with herbs like rosemary for remembrance, thyme for courage, lavender for peace.
Rosemary for me is anything to do with the mind. So I know everybody's like, it's a remembrance one. It's whatever you want it to be. But rosemary for me is not about memory. It's actually more about mindset, brain health, like being in your right mind. It affects that part of us. It's also for your system of like breathing and like your circulatory system.
It's so fragrant and such a wonderful fragrance that for me is almost like getting high off of it.
Yeah,
like
it's
you
her
can smell it, and yeah, exactly. Because I'm so drawn to this. Jamie's got this big plant, and I touch it, and then smell my hand, and I feel like I'm in heaven. I just love it.
It is. It's such a good smell.
I just love it, and I don't know what it's for, but it makes me feel really good and like positive. So positivity, fire rituals. So summertime, even though you don't need to sit by the fire, you still do lots of fire rituals to release the burnout of summer. Gratitude jars with like corn husks and wheat stalks. You can write small thank you, thanks each day until my bone. What are you grateful for? Make an offering in your garden, pour wine or honey on the soil, light a candle, and speak to the land spirits.
Yeah, I need to do that because I'm so grateful for everything that's grown, and I go out there and I talk to all of my plants and just all the things going on in my garden, but I really want to go outside to do a ritual. But I got to say, FYI, it is really effing hot and I get eaten alive by bugs, and then it's not relaxing and calming, and it kind of makes me feel I get annoyed out there
irritated.
A little. Yeah, like it's a little too irritating with everything nipping and biting at you, and it's like get hot and sticky, and I'm sweating all over myself. And when I've tried to go out there and journal in the morning, but I mean, you got to go out way before, because the dew point is when the sun is like right before the sun rises, and that's the most moisture in the air. So if you're going to sweat, like you're going to be like marking up your pages with your sweaty little hand trying to write stuff. So I do appreciate fall for that reason. And then winter, because I can go outside and do more, and it's comfortable here for us. Yeah.
Well, here's a spell idea for a harvest blessing. Write down what you've harvested this year. Burn the paper with herbs of gratitude to seal it into your spirit. Did I read that correctly?
I don't know. I was watching you instead of reading it with you.
Yeah. So you're writing things down on paper and burning them with some herbs of gratitude to seal it into your spirit. Little fire spells.
I know we have never really talked about like what next week is going to be about. We've never done that. But I wrote that podcast today, and I'm very excited for it because...
What's it about?
Well, it goes along the theme of like sort of releasing or harvesting or kind of figuring out where you're at. Mm-hmm. And it's not just about releasing. It's also about being at thresholds where we have beginnings and endings. And it's a threshold, right? Because if something's going to end, something else is beginning, no matter what.
Right.
And so I brought it back to the elements, which I love so much. Like the elements rule my practice, like nature rules my practice. I mean, the green witchery kind of stuff. That's just where my core is and lives and goes to. Every time I think about how to solve a problem, working through stuff, like it goes back to that. And I had to actually write down fire, like as a attractor, like using fire element to attract something. And I was really stumped by that for a second. I'm like, because fire for me in my practice is usually releasing and cleansing, transformation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it is sort of starting a new thing, but I don't ever think about it as like a tool for beginnings. I think about it, it's at the end of the year, right? All the harvest holidays are like hot fire holidays. Like I never think about it as like beginnings. So I had to really, I went through several books. I like Googled some things and I kept thinking, what clicks with this for me that fire can be a beginner? Because even now, this is a fire holiday and we're closing something out. This is not a holiday that's about beginnings and all that, like in bulk would be, even Beltane, Ostara, all of that. So I found my connection.
I'm dying to know, aren't you?
I know. All right, built it up.
I'm waiting here and I'm like, what is it? Because I can't think of anything
I'm
either.
so excited. I can't like not say it, right?
You have to say it. Yeah, we're dying to know because my mind's spinning going like, well, what?
Like,
and the only thing I can think of is like when man first started like cooking with fire. Okay, so that first spark. Or
spark is a beginning thing.
Yeah, spark.
Okay.
Also, like the fire signs who are like the ones like Aries is a fire sign, get things going.
Yeah, the first.
I think of that.
Okay.
So that's a kind of a get going thing. But most of the time, you think of fire as destroying, destruction,
clearing out,
like making way shit down to the ground. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell us what you came up with.
So you got way farther than I did.
Spark.
Spark is one of them. So fire has spark, which is an igniter. It starts things.
Oh, okay.
The other things associated with fire, passion, drive, the goals. Like that's how we get our goals. So you've got
fire in your belly.
Don't be so in line with me. Yes, the solar plexus. We feel it in our gut. The fire in your belly. Literally, I called it the. Oh, I'm losing words now because I got so excited. The vision is in my head. The cauldron. It's your inner cauldron. I was like, that is such a good witchy way to describe your solar plexus. I love that.
I can visualize that.
Right?
Cauldron.
Yes, I know. Yeah. So I was like, it's in my head and I can't find the word.
Yeah, I love that.
The inner cauldron with your fire. So. I mean, I don't even know how you made me think of this. Oh, harvested the fire burning stuff. So thinking about fire as an igniter as well was really difficult for me today. But I got to that place of like, we go back to different systems. So chakras are not witchcraft. They're not owned by witchcraft, right? That's not a super witch thing. Did we use things like that? Did we understand that the body had energy way back when? Yeah, sure. But when I think of witchcraft, we pull in all these different systems. I even use feng shui, which is, not anywhere. Most witches are not attuned to feng shui, but it's an energy system for your homes, for spaces, for things. It's all about alignment. So anything that can help you, it's like another layer into your witchcraft. And chakras for me, learning about them so long ago, like there's a direct connection in my eyes because of that. So when I thought about fire and I associate the color red, my head was like the root chakra. I was like, wait, what? The root chakra is not fire. Then I got totally something. I was like, the root chakra, which is red, is grounding energy, right? It ties us to the earth. Yeah. So not every system overlays perfectly, but there is a lot of overlapping information that works that all these systems can play in together. And I just had like 4 hours of fun with epiphanies going like, oh yeah, this is how this all lines up. And I have this. Do you remember the picture that I drew that shows everything connecting? It's like palmistry and numerology and astrology and spells and then energy work and like everything. I have been wanting to find that picture and post it because I'm like, this is why people have a hard time figuring out where to start in witchcraft because I use like the colors. Crazy map of the world or something. Yeah, it's insane like a city that's like super busy. And there's like all these places and all the roads overlap and you would totally get lost if you went there. And I made it colorful because I'm Virgo rising.
Yeah, where is that? You don't know?
It's in a notebook. It's from 2020 when I wrote it down when we were just
2020. I thought we did that like last year when we were
No, I just brought that out last year.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
that's from 2020 when we were deciding to do a New Witches meetup, because I was like,
Oh.
where do we start helping new witches learn stuff, right? Like,
Okay.
what is the starting point? And everybody comes into this practice at different times where they're like, maybe it's like, I saw a spell and I want to do witchcraft, or I know about astrology, I want to do witchcraft. Like, everybody's entering points to get into the craft is different. But then you get expanded into this wide world of like, oh, and I need to know stones and, crystals or whatever, color magic. Now you got chakras on top of that. Now maybe feng shui, astrology, numerology. It just becomes like 15 different, what would you call them?
Systems?
Systems? Yeah. I think that's what we did call them, systems.
Systems, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was way off topic. But that next week's podcast is going to be aligning or thinking about the elements, the 4 elements that we use. I'm not going into spirit with this one, but fire, earth, air, and water, and how we use them at our thresholds of things ending and things beginning. Okay. And so that's going to lead, it's sort of like with Lughnasadh, because there's an ending and then a beginning, it's okay. Each season, something is closing out and the next thing is picking up. But
okay. Yeah. So what would we like to leave everyone with today? Did we give them something that they could? We did. We kind of gave you something that you can do for this, which
make
is
rosemary bread.
make rosemary bread. It's fun and it's good.
Experiment with that.
Yeah.
Be experimentational.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Be experimental.
Be experimental. Yeah. And also maybe think about what you have or have not harvested this year. And if it's something that a goal that you had that you didn't achieve, then maybe it's time to let it go and maybe try it again next year, so you can kind of like relieve yourself of that, niggling, thoughts like, oh man, I was going to do that and I never started it. And, the year's half over. You got in 2026. So
yeah,
if you can let it go, let some things go, release it using fire ritual. It's always a good time to be grateful. So, a gratitude jar, if you're struggling with like, I don't even know why I'm here anymore. I swear the world is so fucked up. There's lots of things to be grateful always in a gratitude jar, and like things to thank, just one thing a day to write in that jar and fill that up over the next 6 or so weeks before we
get into Mabon.
Yeah. The Mabon will be in September.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have a garden, making an offering to those land spirits.
Mm-hmm. I want to do that so bad. I want to. Well, I used to have a shady spot, the Fairy Garden, and I have to rework garden systems because of the hurricane. So I'm also dealing with that. I had to let go, and now I have to rebuild.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So the wheel keeps turning as we do. From the fire-drenched days of Letha to the golden fields of Lughnasadh, we're not just marking time, we're becoming. Go forth, dear sister witch. Bake that bread. I put that in there. I love that I said that too.
Bake the bread.
Whisper to the stars and thank your garden with every barefoot step. The harvest is here, and so are you.
Until next time, may your broom stay swift, your spells stay strong, and your soul stay rooted in the magic of the turning wheel. And we love you, and we will see you next time.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.